everybody. How are you? I hope you're all doing well. And yes, you saw that, right? Plucking, waxing, threading, and shaving. Now, I did a video about shaving my face maybe about 2 years ago. I can't quite remember. But anyway, never mind. I will put that one at the end if you want to go back and check it. But I went back to shaving, which I said I would not do. And if you actually look at this little clip, when this was on Friday, you can actually almost see the stubble. And what I had been noticing is getting a 5 o'clock shadow. Are you kidding me? Okay, so I do not want to pluck. I have too much to pluck. There's too much there. It would take forever. I don't want to wax. I actually talk about that in the other video. And I don't want to shave. And I don't mind threading, but I have to make sure I go for my appointments on a fairly regular basis. Wait, there is something weird going on with I do all of my videos on my iPhone, you guys. And for some reason, I don't know what's happened. I've turned it around every which way, but it doesn't look like I'm looking at you. So I'm sorry, I need a fix. I think Apple's trying to tell me that it's time for me to get a new phone. Oh, well, that's something to consider. Anyway, and I'll do a quick intro before I get into it. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Liedy. I'm 74 years old. I live in Vancouver, just outside of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And a landmark would be 2.5 hours north of Seattle, Washington. You got to come through the border, though. We'd love to have you visit. Okay, well, thanks for being here, and I hope you decide to stay. About 2 years ago, when all this started, of course, just before menopause, just when I was starting into menopause, which was actually my early 40s for me, I had that one little hair, that one little heart. It's hard, it's like really resilient, and it was one that I could just pluck. And I think it's a gene that goes, oh, I think she's going into menopause. It's time for us to show up on the chin. Okay, so I lived through that, but then I got to the point where I had to start waxing because I got quite a bit of upper lip back then. It was more my upper lip, more in here. And waxing worked fine, but I got away from that. And then, well, I should say, actually, I waxed for a long, long time. My eyebrows and my upper lip, and then of course my chin started to grow hair. I didn't do hormone replacements when I was going through menopause. I did it for about 7 months and I had quite an adverse reaction to it. So I stopped, and that's probably why I have some of this. I don't know. And it's never really bothered me until I started shaving. And it's, people say you don't get a beard or it doesn't get prickly. Not true. Please, if you've experienced prickly, for me, prickly and a 5 o'clock shadow, I go back and look at some of my YouTube videos. You can actually see a grayish upper lip. And I do wear makeup. I wear bronzer and I wear my mascara, which I absolutely love, but I don't wear concealers and foundations. And so it is really, really shows that I have this 5 o'clock shadow, and it's prickly. So I went the other day, I went on Friday, and because I started shaving again, there's been so much going on in our lives. So I just went, oh, it's easy, just do it. And no, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I have to do it twice a day. I feel like Bill. If we go out in the evening, Bill has to shave for a second time. He always shaves first thing in the morning. He uses a razor. And but if we go out later on, he has to shave. Now we're jockeying for who gets to shave first. Well, you gotta laugh. Anyway, I went in and saw my gal, Azita. You'll meet her one of these days. actually, I do have another video where I went in for threading. That's about 4 years ago. I'll link that as well. And yeah, but the only thing is when I'm threading, not the first time. I went on Friday and I can feel a little bit right here and right here, but soft. It's really quite soft. You really have to, but you cannot see anything dark coming through. I don't know why that is. I know people say that's impossible, but it's not. The only thing is I'd like to get away from threading too, because it's something I have to make an appointment for and go and do. I love to go see her. I'd rather go and see her for a facial than for threading, because it can, that can be once a month or every 6 weeks. So I'm appealing to you because, it's when the masses come in. What has worked for you? When you are using a device? There are so many out there. My daughter just got one and she says she loves it and works it, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because I want to see what the general consensus is on if you are using a device for hair removal, especially on your face. What are you using? I would love to at least look at it and see if it's something that could work for me. Yeah, I don't like the prickly feeling, but probably even more than that, I don't like that gray look. And you know what? Just because I'm 74 doesn't mean I don't have a busy life around, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Even during the witching hour, I might be out having some fun. So please share it with me. I'd love to use a device. So what is a really great hair removal device where you are actually saying, hey, you know what? This is working. I'd love for you to share. Okay, so, and I've got to share a little tip with you about just life. Like, how do we get here? How do we get to age really well? Well, I always say it's 100% an inside job. You get to decide. I was just talking to one of my neighbors. Her and I are going to go and celebrate a birthday for one of the gals that's turning 75. We're not missing out on champagne. I want to see what 75 looks like. So we're talking about that. And she said, oh, you both look fabulous for your age. And I said to her, I think all women are fabulous looking. I think they are. Do you know what? It's like when your insides aren't nice, when your inside isn't kind, when your inside is feeling angry all the time and feel like you've been shortchanged. And you know what? I've been there. That's why I can talk about this, because I've been there until I learned about self mindset, until I learned about me inside. And then I realized it. So I thought, well, I want to share this with you because this really helped me. I've always been on a journey. As I always say that stopping and going inside of myself and finding myself has always been my life preserver through really difficult times. And I'm so grateful that I always found it. But about 3 years ago, I was going through a really tough time. Things were happening in our lives. And I had one of my subscribers, you might see her in the comments. Her name's Jean. I never know whether she minds or not, whether I mention her. And I had forgotten that I needed to be grateful. I needed to appreciate my life more. I always have, but it was like a teeter-totter. It was up and down. It was all over the place. And so she had suggested that I get this little book and read it, and that I start a gratitude jar. So I want to share that with you guys because, right now life is it just seems to be all over the place for so many of you. And I know that, a lot of people financially are going through tough times. And as we age, we can feel very lonely sometimes, more than sometimes for some. And I thought, I really enjoyed reading this little book. But more than anything, I enjoyed creating my gratitude jar. So just let me go and get it, okay? I'll share it with you guys. This is such a nice little book to read, and I wasn't going to get it when she suggested it, but I liked it because when I was reading on it, it said creating miracles. And I so believe that we create our own miracles. I meditate and I manifest all the time. I start my day every morning with 15, 20 minutes. Bill knows the drill. And so I thought, it's a good thing to share because Jean shared this with me. And I think you might enjoy it as well if you're struggling right now, or you just want the aging process to get better for you, that how we forget how fortunate we may be. Anyway, it's this little book here, and it's called The Gratitude Jar, and it's written by Josie Robinson. And it wasn't very, I don't know, I'm trying to remember, maybe $8. And it was just a real great little read. But what I did is when I got this book, I have to lift this up. I created my gratitude jar. And all in there is all my notes. And I even put little lights in it at night, so it looks really pretty. And so what do? Well, I was really good at first. Every day I would put in a little note about something that I was grateful for, or something that I really appreciated, or something that had happened. And so I got a notepad of black paper and I cut them, and I have a silver pen. And so I started writing. I put a date down, and I would write little notes like, I'm really thankful that I got to go out today. I got invited to go and celebrate a birthday, and I'm grateful to be out and be included and to be active and things to look forward to. Or somebody comes over that I haven't seen for a while, or somebody's really appreciative of something. I ask them to write a little note and put it in the jar. Now, I've never gone back. I say to the kids, all right, when I kick the bucket, you got to break the bottle. And then go through all these little memories of appreciation and gratitude in my life. And they'll find themselves in a lot of those. But I just want to leave you with that, because I think we forget. And I speak from a place that, having nothing and, trying to figure out how it's all going to come together. And there's a lot of things I could share with you, but you know what? I have 3 adult kids and I have grandchildren, and I have left all that stuff behind me. And I just think that we need to look forward. So that's why I don't go into a lot of details about it. But I think, going to, I have often, well, not often, I have 2 chapters done on a book that I was going to write about my life, but I've decided not to do it because it's going to put me in a place where I have to keep reliving and rethinking all of that. It's not going to serve me. But what I am actually started doing is I'm taking an event in my life that was very painful or very sad, because now I'm in a totally different place. So now what I'm doing, I'm sharing what I learned, because at the time when it was happening, I didn't realize I was learning something. I didn't realize that this was going to serve me well as I traveled my journey. I didn't realize that this was something I could keep, and I learned from it. But we don't always learn it right away, right? Sometimes we have to look back and we go, oh, that's why that happened. If that hadn't happened, I would have set myself up in another really bad situation. So that is why I don't go there. If I can help it, I fall off. Sometimes, right? Anyway, guys, you're struggling with the aging process. You're feeling really alone. You may have forgotten on how we may want to stop and appreciate what we do have. And, we can change our direction. We are in charge. I've done it. I'm doing it. I believe in it. Anyway, having said all that, please don't forget to leave me, if you're using a device, please share it with me, your thoughts, or if you're using one that's absolutely no good and you've invested in it, leave that with us too, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's saying, I just don't want that beard. I don't want the beard, and I don't want the 5 o'clock shadow. And I don't always want to have to get in my car and go for an appointment. So thank you. And remember, there is no future in our past, okay? It's like take all the wonderful memories and all the lessons, have dreams, look ahead, imagine what we can still do. Okay, love you. Bye.